Hello, this is ZeroXtasy bringing to you my first review, finally. Well, it's technically my 12th review, but since I revamped my channel, or restarted my channel, I'm back at one. And so the show, spin-off ending I'm reviewing today, is Steven Universe Future. Now, I have reasons why I'm reviewing the ending first. Well, first reasons because I need something to be relevant to actually get views. Don't mind that, but it's also because honestly, you guys would feel like I'm cheating, but I kind of am and kind of not. I mean, I did watch the original Steven Universe show and the movie, but I unintentionally skipped some episodes in the main show. So it's like, I do know the story of Steven Universe, but there are gaps in my knowledge and watched history of Steven Universe. But that is why for future reviews of Steven Universe, I will go back and fill in the gaps, and I will go through each season and watch every episode in it, so I can catch up and fill the gaps. And one thing I will explain is that now for every video, I will explain what I review in the show. The criteria will always be kept for both Western and anime, for anime and Western animation. But for my analysis of Western animation, I'm saying the same thing. But for my analysis of animation, either anime or Western, the standard for both will be different. I will try and apply it, but just know that for the main thing that will be different for each one is just animation for anime and Western shows, because I know both are different. So I do have to. So I can't really put them in the same standard with each other. But just know that for my criteria for both types of shows, I'm tongue-tied. But just know for my criteria for both type of shows, or for both type of animations, will be different. And one thing I have to point out too, I review shows by the season, not by the whole thing. I mean, I could do that, but I just feel reviewing each season will, because let's say the show's good, but let's just say like the last season, I'm not talking about this show, but let's just say that the first 2 seasons are good, but then the 4th season is just bad. It's just reviewing each season separately will just be able to detail each part without really putting the whole thing in the same light. I mean, yeah, I could review the entire thing depending on the show. It's just if I do that, I would have to put the standard for the entire thing, and at the same time, I would have to watch so much more stuff, where it's just easier to review each segment or each season separately, and I can get through the season quicker and just review that. And yes, depending on the show, let's say the show is 26 episodes, that doesn't mean I'm going to review the first half and then review the next half and consider it 2 different seasons. No. If it's short, or if it's the entire thing, I will review the entire thing depending on the show. It's one of the things where it's like, if there's more seasons than one, or if there's like a movie or whatever that's a spin-off, I will review each one separately. That's just how I do things. And the standard, even though I'm changing my channel, the standards that I have for my channel back then will still remain the same for this current version. So I just wanted to point that out. And for those wondering what I review, there are 4 criteria for reviews for my channel. They are story, music, animation, and characters. And I'll explain each one separately, but let's just get started. The first criteria, the story. It's about a few years after both the original Steven Universe series and the movie. It's mostly about Steven Universe trying to figure out what to do for his future, and also dealing with his inner demons. And his inner demons are affecting his powers, and he doesn't really know what it means. The final season of Steven Universe is very coming of age, and I feel Steven Universe Future is one of the most relatable teenage shows there is. And it's not just teenage, it's just, I'll explain right now. I mean, the first half of the season of Future It's about Steven dealing with drifting, or that thing where you're in high school and you expect to, and you expect the usual, like, oh, me and my friends, we will always be in contact with each other, we will always be friends forever. But it's just reality hits, and you kind of drift away from people you know, and it's just you kind of question whether or not you can still be friends. It's something that, yes, most teens won't feel till they graduate and go on with their lives. But senior versus future, I don't know if it's intentional or not. But the moment in the season when Steven doesn't want to lose his friends, and it's not so much relatable to teenagers in high school already, but it's more relatable to teenagers that do graduate from high school and start on their path to adulthood. And I'll be honest, I'm 24, and I have never seen a show tackle the subject where it's like you graduate and it's like you feel like you want to stay with your friends forever, but it's just you drift apart, and it's like I never thought a show like Steven Universe would feel so relatable. I mean, I know I'm still talking about the story kind of, but that's just how I feel about Steven Universe Future. And I will be honest, if a show discusses a topic in the story, or just in general they discuss the topic, I will go out of my way to talk about it. But don't think I will do this for every show I review. It's just there are times where if a show does something where they talk about something serious, it's just something that I want to share my experience on. And it's something I'll do for certain shows. It just depends on the show. But it's just something I wanted to share on my experience with the final season of Steven Universe. And so now for the second criteria, the music. The music review section that I do mostly tackles the ending for Steven Universe Future. Actually replays the song "We're in the Future" from Steven Universe the movie, and it really suits it well. As for the ending theme for Steven Universe Future, it's very calm, and I won't say anything because I won't even say if it spoils or not. Let's just say it kind of does. But it's better for you to experience Steven Universe Future and see it for yourself. Alright, now for our third criteria, the animation. The animation of Steven Universe Future and the show Steven Universe is actually kind of basic. Most of the characters are simple shaves, but it's just the originality of not just changing how each character looks, adding variance to each design, and just detailing minor things that make watching Steven Universe Future feel epic. I can't deny that Steven Universe, the entire show, is one of my beloved shows of the 2010 decade. And it's honestly on the same level as how I feel for Adventure Time. But just know that I'm not going to review the finale of Adventure Time by itself, because it's kind of its own thing. Like, Steven Universe Future was an entire season. The finale for Adventure Time was an entire, certain aspect of the final season. So I can't review the finale of Adventure Time because I would have to review the final season, and I won't do that. But just know that ranking wise, if I were to compare what shows I like of this decade, or the last decade technically, since we're in 2020, I would feel Steven Universe Future, Adventure Time, and Regular Show were probably one of the greatest shows that came out of the last decade. And that's what I feel. And now for the fourth criteria, characters. I won't go in depth with every single character, but just know that for a final season for a show, it does give almost every secondary character, like Bismuth, Lapis, Peridot, Spinel, and the Diamonds, some screen time. And I feel, unlike most finales, we actually get a closure on plot points involving those characters. And yes, I feel I wish we got more involvement of what Steven Universe was dealing with. But I feel leaving that part where you don't really know what caused his suffering, or what caused his just trauma, or his issues with his powers in the final season of Steven Universe, or this season, Steven Universe Future. I will kind of go into some theories I have, like what I feel may have caused it is like, for me, you could theorize that maybe it was inside trying to come out, or it was his trauma plaguing him, or it could have been that even though Steven Universe tried to heal corrupted gems in the original series, somehow in the event of trying to heal a corrupted gem, you'll know what I'm talking about if you watch the original show. There's a certain, I won't spoil it, but there's a certain part where he tries to use his healing powers to heal one. And in that aspect of trying to heal a corrupted gem, he unintentionally got corrupted himself. But the theory, you guys could make the theory expand into either it was external or it was internal. Like for me, it could have been, for me it could have been a mix of his inner trauma, his fears, as mental health, and a part of that suffering that it may not be external corruption, but it could be internal corruption. And the internal stuff, which I'm talking about, where it's like his inner trauma, his fears, as mental health, and all that just caused his own inner corruption. And like I said, where he got it from, outside or inside. And if he got it inside, it was his inner trauma that caused his corruption unintentionally, or just it causes corruption in the final season. But it's up to you what you decide on what caused Steven Universe to have trouble with his powers. But just know, like, for my last video, I gotta fix that thumbnail. But just know, for my last video where I talked about mental health, I know what it's like to deal with mental health, and I honestly feel Steven Universe Future kind of tackled that issue very well. Because this is one of those things where it's like, it talks about how you think you can suffer something, or you suffer something major, and you think you could deal with it, but it's one of those things where sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And not so much you can't deal with it, it's just you honestly don't know how much trauma can take a toll on you. Even if you're older and you don't let it affect you as much, it can still have an effect on you even when you don't realize it. But just know that if you get help to talk about it and to understand what makes you feel like you're still suffering, the more you get an understanding of what you're dealing with, the more you can better cope with what you dealt with in the past and kind of move on. And just, I'm not saying you'll forget it. I mean, you might, but when you move on, it's not about forgetting it. It's more about using that experience to make you stronger and make you better, whether it be good or bad. It's something you gotta take with you through your life. But with it, you can learn to deal with it better than just ignoring it and expecting it to go away if you don't think about it. Because that doesn't. Let's just say, because usually I like to go in depth with characters, but it's just since there's so many characters in Steven Universe, both secondary and main, it would be hard to just kind of trying to analyze these characters. But just know that the main focus of this section, I usually go in depth or just talk about characters I like and characters I don't like. But I feel like Steven Universe, the show, there are characters that may not be the best per se, but they just with how much Steven Universe kind of made certain characters stronger and learn to grow, learn to teach them to just be more kinder and learn to grow with their trauma. You really get a sense that each character Steven Universe helped, like Bismuth, Lapis Lazuli, Peridot, and Spinel didn't really get enough screen time in the final season, so you can't really know how she grew from the movie, at the end of the movie, to Steven Universe Future. You don't really get that, but with the other characters, you do feel that, like Peridot, like the best examples are Peridot, Bismuth, and Lapis, where it's like they actually grew to be better and learn to deal with what they dealt with and just become better gems in general. And that's why I feel and I just feel the gems just really grew as characters throughout the Steven Universe in general. But overall, you'll enjoy Steven Universe for its characters and for its story. Well, the story, yeah, the main story is a bit, you might not like it, but the after story where it's like they grow and become better and just learn to move on and just grow towards the future. That's where I feel Steven Universe will be good. Is good. The whole thing, not just future. But now for the conclusion. Should you watch Steven Universe Future? Honestly, I think you should. Well, after watching the entire Steven Universe main show and the Steven Universe movie. And I can't really compare how it is to the other seasons of Steven Universe and the movie, but I feel it's better. Well, it's not better. It's just good, and it's very story driven. And the thing about the last season is that it talks about mental health, personal demons, and friendship drift. It's just it does something most shows don't really do, and Steven Universe Future is great for that. So if you want to watch Steven Universe Future, be my guest after the main show. But it's honestly enjoyable. The ending, you can like it or hate it. It's up to you. I'm not gonna decide what you decide, but just know that the ending, most people weren't happy with it, but it still concluded the series pretty well. And now for the end of the video. And I'll be honest, as my first and technically my 12th review, I'm starting fresh. One thing I always used to do on my old reviews was I always used to put what I would review next, and I feel I want to do that, but it's just surprising you guys and just letting you find out what I review next will be fun. So just surprising you guys will be fun. I won't announce what I review next, but I will announce that starting from this video, I will have 2 review series, and you guys are gonna like it. The first series is reviewing every Crunchyroll original that comes out. I won't say what the first one will be, but just know that there's 2 series I'm going to have for reviews. So like I said, the first one's going to be every Crunchyroll original that they're making. I'm going to review each single one. And the other review will be every Studio Ghibli movie that I can get access to. Now don't think I won't try to review the other one, every single one. But just know that if it's hard to find a good way to legally watch it without pirating it, it might be a little hard, but just know that I'll try my best to review as many Studio Ghibli movies as I can. I mean, I will say I'll try to review every single one, but it's just to find out which streaming services have. Like, the one thing I love is that HBO Max is getting the Studio Ghibli movies, so that saves me money instead of just trying to rent or buy every single Studio Ghibli movie and like on Google, you can't rent the Studio Ghibli movies, you have to buy them. And it's like, I'm not wasting money for every single movie just to fucking review it. And yeah, I could return it, but it's like constantly returning every single movie I buy just to get rid of it. It's like, that's why HBO Max is probably the best thing for reviewers, because they give you stuff that is hard to get. And if you want to review Studio Ghibli movies, get HBO Max, because they got a lot of them, and they're gonna add more. And it's just having that is just the best way to review HBO or Studio Ghibli movies. So look forward to that. And thank you for watching. And the next video that I will say what's gonna be next, I'm gonna make a Patreon video. And as well, please support my Patreon so that I can review as many shows as I can. If you subscribe to my Patreon, I have a special Patreon exclusive series that you guys might like. Cause, well, I don't know if you'll like it, cause I'll explain the Patreon video. Just know that there's an exclusive series I'm gonna have that only you guys can get as long as you pay for my Patreon. And honestly, the amount I'm charging for this special exclusive thing is only like $2 more than what the usual Patreon exclusive. Let's just say that it's just basic. Like, I have the main Patreon where it's like, if you want to see early access to videos, it's just $5, and most people charge $5 for that anyway. But the Patreon exclusive, I'm not gonna be like, oh, there's the main Patreon and there's a secondary Patreon where it's like you have to pay like $10 just to fucking see it. It's like, and then there's a secondary Patreon where it's like you have to pay like $10 just to fucking see it. It's like, no, I made it to where it's like it's only $2 more. The amount you have to pay to see the exclusive it's just $7. And if you can't pay the $7, that's fine. Just know that people will probably leak it out and post it on YouTube. So if people do that, then there's your free access to the exclusive. But if they don't, or if you guys do support me with that, I'll let you know that I will still do it even if people post it online. But it's just something to have fun with, and look forward to that too. But yeah, please support my Patreon, subscribe, like and comment, share my video, and this is my first review.